So I have another question moving from that. That was our experience. But moving from that, how would you say your time here in England has been, like, as a whole?
Yeah, so
Working and all that.
yeah, so for me, I cannot really say England because since I came, I've not really traveled a lot. I mean, until Ozzy came, the only time I traveled out of Cornwall was when I was going to Cyprus and when I went
That
to
did not work
London.
out.
That didn't work out. And when I went to London to renew my passport, that was it. I was always at home, so I'm a homebody. I don't travel. Plus Cornwall is the countryside. It's southwest England,
Yeah.
right? And there's not a lot happening here, honestly. Like before Ozzy came, I never knew there were young people here. I used to think they were like all elderly people. That's how quiet Cornwall is. Like Cornwall is like,
Wow. So you just assume that the whole demographic and the whole population
honestly,
was just not here.
and it didn't help because in the hospital, like because of the where
ward
we
you're on.
live, and the ward I'm on, I mostly deal with elderly. So I just got used to seeing the elderly. And in fact, people that came more into ED, like emergency departments in the hospital, were elderly people having falls and like fractures and stuff. So I was just used to that
Yeah.
elderly people thing. So I just thought everybody was just elderly. I didn't know they were. I mean, obviously there would be younger people, but I just thought the population, the comparison would be like more elderly than youngs. And plus, people usually say that Cornwall is a place where the elderly come to retire. So I was like, okay, cool. This is like not gonna work. Anyway, so yeah, before Ozzy came, I used to hang out sometimes with my colleagues and would like just go tour, go to the seaside or just go see new places. But like once in like 2 months, once in like 3 months. It was never really a thing I did often. What I usually did was stay at home. I mean, that's the reason why I was very consistent with my YouTube because I was always like, that was my like creative outlet. That was the only thing I had to do, just create videos. Yeah, so it was really, really tough for me. And it didn't help that the job that I started was a really difficult one. It was a really different one for me. I wasn't used to like that kind of system. I wasn't used to like how tasking the job would be. I like challenges. I like to be challenged at work, but it was like a huge challenge for me. Plus, adding it with the exam that was coming up, it was just a lot of pressure. Yeah, so I struggled. It was not too bad. I would never compare with how much you struggled because obviously me, I kind of had soft landing. I mean, I came here and there was a job waiting for me, bam. And like I had accommodation waiting for me already. So I didn't really struggle that bad in the beginning. But eventually, as time moved on, that's when I said struggle. In the beginning, it was not hard, but then having to get a house by myself, having to live in a new country by myself, having to be alone, having to move my things by myself.
Yeah.
Those parts were the hard parts. And the fact that I did not have any friend here except Gigi and Jobel. Those were the hard parts for me. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. How was it for you, by the way? I think for you, it definitely was harder.
I mean, like you said, I had some form of soft landing. I didn't know that getting accommodation in Cornwall is really difficult.
Guy, it's prayer points. You fast and pray.
So-
it's hard.
So
It's like, may the best man. Yeah, that's literally how it is.
I mean, I heard it's all of England because a lot of people say the same things.
Because like you can see like 50 people applying for one
Yeah,
house.
you think it's you, and then the listing is plenty.
I know God has been good.
I mean-
like I'm actually just dipping it again. God has actually been really good to us, babe. Even to get this house.
Yeah, that was just wonderful.
Let me just detail a little. Detail a little and give you guys the story of this house. Like this house was not even meant to be ours. This house was not meant to be ours at all. I've been applying for houses like for a long time. I've been going to see houses. Every time there were so many people applying for the same house, so I never got the house. And they also look at your credit score. They look at how much you're earning to give you a house. So most times people were coming with their families and both of them were working, but me, it was just like me and my income. So it was like, okay, it's not enough to get a 2-bedroom flat and stuff. So just randomly one day, I received an email from the hospital accommodation because I had told them that I have not been able to get a house and they will soon kick me out of the hospital accommodation. So I need to get a house. Anyway, so they sent me this email with 3 options that I should choose from. One was in St. Austell. St. Austell was like 2 hours from the hospital. It's going to be too far. I don't drive. The other one was this one that we live in 3 miles to. And then the third one was one other house that I can't remember because when I texted the woman, she was just kind of off-putting and rude. So I didn't care about that one. Anyway, the one in St. Austell was cheaper than this one. But it was a 3-bedroom flat, but it was just too far. Yeah. This one was expensive, but it was a 2-bedroom flat, exactly what I was looking for in the first place. And it was just literally 25 minutes walk from the hospital. And if you drive 4 minutes, you're in the hospital. So I was like, okay, cool. maybe I should go with this house. So I applied for the both houses. I sent emails to both landlords. And mind you, this is a private viewing. Usually we go through agencies to apply for houses, but this one was a private viewing. So I was in contact with the landlord directly. So I sent my landlady an email. And she said, "Oh, I should send her my phone number." And she sent me her phone number. So I should call her. So I called her, and she picked the call and she said, "Oh, hi, da 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 da. Am I in the house?" I said, "Yeah." So okay, we'll talk more about it. She gave me the details about the house and everything. I was like, "Okay, cool, thank you." So I left my phone and I went to the kitchen to cook. And then I came back and I saw like so many missed calls on my phone. I was like, "Oh, who's like?" She called me back. So I called her and she's like, "Oh, can you come and see the house right now?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I can come and see the house." So I left everything I was in and I came to see this house. I saw the house. I fell in love with the house. I was like, "Okay, I am getting this house. Like, I'm paying this moment. I'm paying the deposit now." And then she was like, "Okay, cool." But then that's when she said, "Oh, where is your colleague?" So apparently she called the wrong person. Because who she was supposed to call was this nurse, two nurses that had just moved here and they were trying to get a house. I've forgotten the girl's name now, but that day she mentioned the girl's name. And I was like, "Oh no, I'm getting the house alone and my husband is coming to join me." And then she's like, "Oh, you're not the person. But you've already said you're going to pay the deposit. So I guess it's your house." And that's how I paid for this house and I moved in. God is like
that's crazy.
Amazing. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, so I mean, all the parts of like getting the house and stuff that I didn't have to think much on, so I'm grateful for that. But I had to wait for my BRP to get here. It took roughly 2 weeks.
10 days, baby. 10 days.
2 weeks, if you include the weekends.
Including the weekend.
Oh God. Anyway, so I got my BRP and then my rights to work. And I think the same day I got my right to work, that same day I started applying for. I have like 8 to 9 CVs,
different jobs
of all the things I know how to do. I mean, all these skills I've worked on. So I started applying for jobs left, right, and
I think that's when it became difficult for you. In the beginning, it was like, "Oh, soft landing. Oh, I came to a house. Oh, I came to enjoyment." And then dawned on you like, I have to find a job.
Yeah. So I think the whole job thing, because I my degree was in filmmaking, because I don't want a future.
Wow, why would you say that?
Because
you have a bright future in Jesus' name.
Amen. And anyway, so instead of me to follow my engineering path, I decided to follow filmmaking. But so it was just really difficult to adjust, and the job hustle, the job hunting,
and all the sorry to inform you.
Oh man.
Like at first I was like, "No, baby, don't worry, we've got this." The first rejection, "We've got this, baby, we've got this." Second rejection, "We've got this, baby, we've got this." Third rejection, "We've got this."
Some of them said they'll never reply you. I actually checked.
Then later I was just like, "Oh shit, this is bad."
I googled all the media companies around this vicinity, and I started going to them one by one with my CV. These are the things I've done.
Oh, this is getting me emotional.
Some of them were not. Some of them were like, "Oh yeah, we're out of commission. We're not doing it again." And that guy was like, "Oh, we are not really into video as much anymore. We're now focused on graphic design." There, so it just all of that. Just I wrote. Okay, I'm like, you know what? In fact, I will start writing to other kind of companies and tell them that I can make videos and help them promote their stuff for just all these things. I mean, it was really, really tough. And I remember when I was about to come, I was talking to Anselm, and I was telling him about, I want to get this job, I want to get that job, I want to do this. And he said, "Guy, confess."
It is easy. Confess.
And I think that's what I would segue into saying life here in England. We are grateful that we are able to be here, but what happens in England, if you know anybody who has just moved or anybody who is living here, there's something that it's not just me. I thought it was just me, but after speaking to several people, I see that the life here is kind of strange in a way. Like, except you break out of that cycle, your life is going to start becoming home, work, and if you are a religious person, church or whatever you're doing, and then home again, you start becoming so no, I wouldn't say myopic, but the pressure of living here, especially if you're like an immigrant, is going to suck you in, that you don't have time
You
or
don't have a
focus.
life.
You don't have anything, because in other places, I don't know about other places and I cannot speak for them, but I can speak for here. Like, once you start seeing your bills and the amount of hours you're working, and you're seeing that, like the first job I worked, it was like 10 10 points 10.9 £10.9 per hour. That was my first job. And after working that, you I remember after my first week of working, I made like 200 pounds. And I came, I said, Docas, Jesus.
It's shocking. Is this it? Is this it?
after my first week of working here, and I made 200 pounds, I was,
But to be fair, you were working like 4 hours a day.
yeah, but because there was no other place to work, that was the only thing I could get. And after like working the job and everything, no, I it's not like I was working 6 hours a day, but I didn't have enough shifts.
You were working like 3 days a week, because like, it cannot be 200 pounds. There. So it's more than that.
It was Trelisk.
Oh,
Yeah. So
you worked at least like 2 days a week, baby.
no, three.
You worked 3 days a week, night shift, and then you worked in the other.
That's later when that one added. Now that's, I'm saying, for the first. I mean, the first week, like my first week of working here in England.
Yeah, you started working 1 week after you got your BRP.
Yeah, after I got this thing, man. I'm just like, Jesus. I remember one time you sent me 200 pounds from. You sent me 200 pounds when I was in Cyprus. I was like, oh man, thank you, thank you. I was really grateful, but in my heart, I'm just like, 200 pounds. It's nice. It's nice to have this money. And like, one whole week, money. That's what you said to me. Jesus,
that's not my 1 week money.
You must.
I'm a nurse.
I know, but in my mind, I'm like,
yeah.
If I send it 200 pounds, I love you. If somebody, in my mind, I'm thinking, with all the things I had to do that whole week, if I send you 20 pounds, I love you, guy. You are the apple of my eyes.
Yeah, I think people just forget that. I don't know. UK is just,
it's built different, and then because of the kind of arrangements you have, you are paying council tax, this bill, that bill.
That's the thing.
This bill.
The thing with
that
the
bill.
thing with UK is that you earn, like, at least from my point of view, you earn a lot of money. Like, you see your bank statement and you're like, wow, I'm
good
getting money.
And then
Tax, national insurance, pension. We first deduct your life.
Yeah.
Like, half of your money is gone.
Gang.
Okay, let's say any 5,000 a month. Half is already gone in tax, national insurance, and pension. And then you're left with 2,500. When you now factor in your rent,
which is not cheap.
our rent is not cheap. This house is not cheap.
So you pay rent.
Council tax.
Yeah, that one too.
Electricity.
Gang.
Gas.
Gang.
Water.
Gang.
Very council. Internet.
Phone bill.
Phone bill, baby. Phone bill. Before you calculate all these things.
Then you forget that you have not eaten. And
God.
because we don't have car, you have to.
I have to pay for monthly subscription for bus.
So at the end of the day, by the time you finish all this money like this, you just come and
somebody will not be asking you.
You now start thinking.
More annoy me.
No, I'm grateful that God has put us in a place that, sometimes we're able to, help.
That's what it's just literally what you said. I love you.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Yeah. So I mean, so whenever you see people here, or people that are living in diaspora anywhere, anyways, I don't know about other places, but for here, I started noticing like people's lives, and especially people who are anyway, I started noticing people's life, and I started seeing that it's so easy to want to just keep to yourself, because you're exhausted from, you are trying to make enough money So at some point, I had to start working somewhere else to make up for.
Plus that 10.9 was just not working.
It was not working
That's
out.
ridiculous.
So I had to start getting, and I got that placement so that I could put both of them together. So I wake up in the morning, rush, go to the first place, come back, eat, and then go for the next one. And then that one was ending by midnight. And then I come back home. Sometimes I'm lucky I'm able to come back home by 12:30. I sleep, wake up the next morning, I'm half again. And
Ozzy and I were not seeing each other.
At some points, literally, we used to see each other at the bus stop. Like, guy, how far now?
We were missing each other, like literally.
My G, what's up? What's up, my G? Shake me.
We had not slept on the same bed in like a long time. Like I remember the first time we had breakfast together in weeks, and we literally gave a testimony at our Bible study. I said, today Ozzy and I had breakfast together for the first time. That's how serious it was. Ozzy and I were living in the same house, but we're not seeing each other.
And then what was the times we were now working night shifts.
Yeah.
So literally that one was even worse, because at least if you're working day shifts,
you can still come and say, hi baby, good night.
This one, when you're working night shift, and at some point they'll give you night shift back to back to back to back. So night shift like this, as you are coming in the morning, I'm seeing you, I'm going to the bus. In fact, it's the bus that is dropping you off that is taking me.
I get home, I shower, I eat, I sleep, and then you are working throughout.
And then the only time I come back, you are probably doing something.
I'm gone.
Oh yeah.
The time you come back for lunch, I'm still sleeping. You eat your lunch and you go out for your next shift, I'm still sleeping. When you come back by midnight, I'm at work.
You're already gone.
We were not seeing each other. We used to text each other to keep up.
Yeah. What's happening? You text me, you say, guy, I put this thing for you in the fridge. I did this for you.
It was horrible.
And a lot of people here live those kind of lives.
Yeah.
This is the life of a lot of people. So
yeah,
the life here is kind of, it puts you at that hustling stage.
Yeah, right? I mean, for me, I guess I'm detoxing myself from that.
Yeah.
From that.
You have to actively want to not live that life.
From that mentality of hustle. Like, oh my God, I have to. Like, I remember before you came, I used to want to take extra shifts all the time. I'm just, because the money was just like sweeting me out, money. Now I don't. I would rarely take an extra shift. But I think my struggle more than the money, because at the end of the day, I'm really not a materialistic person. Like, I remember we were having a conversation one day. I was like, you know when they say, what's it called? Least management, low management.
Low maintenance.
Low maintenance. I'm the lowest maintenance babe ever. Like, there are very few things I want in this life. Very few. I'm not materialistic. So enough, like, a little goes a long way for me. Like, I'm comfortable with what I have.
Yeah.
My eyes don't enter. Start speaking pidgin. Somebody will think I should speak pidgin in real life. I'm not like greedy for people's things. I'm not really greedy with people's things. I'm like really content with what I have. So my problem was not the money part. I was fine with us and what we're earning. I'm fine right now. Obviously, we earn more than that, but I'm comfortable with what we're earning. But my problem out of all this was the fact that I felt like I was losing myself. Like, I felt like I was not communicating with my family. We were rarely ever talking.
I mean, that happens.
I was not communicating. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the part of the UK that struggled to me. You're talking about like the hustle and everything. The hustle was not crazy for me. It's not crazy for me because I've given up that hustle life. Like, I'm a self babe and I earn my money and keep it to my account and I enjoy my life. But the fact that like I just didn't have time for my friends. I didn't have time for people. People would text me before I reply.
It would take weeks. And I think that's the second part of what I wanted to say. I was just
too tired. Like, you see your phone, you see the message. Not that you don't see it, but you're just too tired to start a conversation or to pick up a call and a phone and say, let me call this person, or to even answer somebody's call. You're just exhausted.
So what happens to lots of people is that
people think you're like, I mean, people thank God for like the kind of friends we have and family we have that don't think like that. But I've seen other people's stories where they talk about, oh, this person went abroad and he
completely changed. They don't need to reply. They don't need to
because they are literally just surviving.
Guy, you're tired.
They are literally surviving. Like, it's not. I mean, we cannot talk for everybody because some people literally are just ghosting you. But most people they are genuinely just surviving.
Guy, because. And a lot of people now, because they are now in England, they are now in the better position to help. So imagine having to pay all this money, and then some people are still footing bills in Nigeria. Some people are still the ones that are really building houses. They are the ones that are really sending this. So
I
they are
remember,
just
yeah.
exhausted. Like mentally, you are exhausted.
Yeah.
And so I know people like once they come back from work, they just turn on the TV. Like they shower and eat and they just turn on the TV because you just want to not think. You just want to escape. And that's the life for a lot of people here.
I remember listening to some people's podcast, this couple's podcast. They're talking about how, like, if you see people in the UK, like the way blacks walk in the UK, even me if I fair. Like, no, like I don't know. I've not been to a lot of countries, but here in the UK, like black people, they work. My God, most of the industries, most of the businesses, black people, you must see one or two black people working there because they're always hustling. They're always late night shifts. They are there. There's this guy one day I was going for a shift. I was going for one of my shifts, and then there was this guy that picks me up and took me to work. And then he was talking about how he was just coming back from a shift and he was going to another shift. I was just like,
even our friend in South Northampton. Like everybody is just like he called me the other day. He's like, sorry that you have not heard from me. I said, bro, I understand. He said, I just did come back from this thing. I get work tomorrow. Like people are working 2 jobs and side hustle. Like that's how the life here is. So
that's how the life here is.
You know, you think, when I was coming, I used to think that when I get here, me and my guys go the ball, me and my guy. Me and the people in this England, we don't need to use our eye to see ourselves. If we check on each other after every 2 months, we'll be fine. Because
but then again, I think it's okay to talk about like the downsides and talk about how there's the survival of the fittest and everybody's hustling and the life is hard and But I think we can also talk about the positive side.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you think, since you moved to the UK, what has it been in your life that you feel like has been the positive change that you're really grateful for?
I mean, honestly, the quality of life here is just way better.
What do you mean by that?
Like, especially for where we live in southwest of England, Cornwall. I don't know why I keep referring to southwest. And especially here in Cornwall, it's not like, even though the transportation is not as crazy, it's at least it's somewhat reliable.
Baby, that's why you miss it. Transportation here in Cornwall is crap.
Okay,
let's accept it. It's
a
spade. That's a bad side. That's a very bad side.
Okay, but I would say, I mean, all the access we have to like good constant power supply, internet. Like
you have that in Cyprus, and you can have that in Nigeria if you have the money for it.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like here, it's just different here.
I feel like you have not still found out what is the good thing about the UK.
I'm with you.
I was giving you the answer on a platter of gold, staring you in the eyes. What is good about the UK, my brother? They're looking for eyes. You know? If I give you uppercut, get over here. What is good about the UK?
My love.
I think the good roads. The good roads. Hey, the good roads. Don't go back to your country. Hey, nonsense.
My love.
You know, I was talking about transportation. Just reminded me of I posted a video on my YouTube channel, and like it was us shopping for a car, and I got a couple of messages talking about the cars, you're very a car.
You have money.
It's not because you have money, it's because you need it. You literally need it for transportation here. Transportation in Cornwall is crap. Literally on Sundays, there is no means of transportation, and I work a lot on Sundays, day shift, night shift. How am I supposed to get to work?
It work.
It's frustrating. So guys, the one that I was supposed to car, not because I want to say, no, it's because we actually need a car. We're actually going to get a car.
If you're in other parts of like
the UK, transportation system is. One went to Sheffield. One went to Northampton.
Wow. Do you know they used to make fun of us? Beautiful. They have Ubers. They have like our own
trams, trains.
Our own form of
perfect
taxi. You have to book the taxi like a day before. Or something, or hours
and then
before.
Just hope for the best.
You cannot just call a taxi up and tell them.
Or carry your phone and just book a taxi.
Or Uber. You cannot do that.
Trains, before you get to train, you have to take a taxi to go and get a train.
Or bus.
So, God. Or bus, you have to hope God. And our bus is like every 30 minutes. And sometimes they can be lucky that you will see every No, every
I
30
mean,
minutes.
it's supposed to be
Let's
every
be
12
honest.
minutes, every 12 to 15 minutes, but it's not like
30
that.
minutes, sometimes 1 hour, so we could still wait for the bus stop.
Anyway, that being said,
So I'm the good thing about the UK.
yes, my
So
love.
what else? Nothing else is good.
No,
about
no,
it.
I love. I mean, I love the people we've come to know here, the community we have, our church community. I love, like, genuinely love them. I remember one time where we were struggling, when our lows here, and we're thinking of leaving and moving. We just sat by the stairs and we're like, guy, we're going to leave. Going to
We're so
exit this
sure we're
place.
leaving.
But I think I told you now, I told you I don't know how to, aside from the fact that it would be another huge transition for me because I was still getting here. I was like, I couldn't just imagine leaving this, like, the group of people we just met here. I had genuinely fallen in love with the people here. So
Yeah.
the community we have here, I
Yeah.
love them so much, honestly.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it because I know people are watching. I genuinely like.
Yeah, we have a really, really good community. I think people here in Cornwall, that's one thing I always say, they're generally just kind.
Yeah.
They're just like even the most random person you meet on the road is like really nice and really kind and just willing to help you. I remember when I came here and I was dragging my box and going to my accommodation, and this is really elderly lady that was almost like, let me help you with your bag. Like, I'm just like, you're elderly, number one. Plus, why are you so nice to me? I'm a stranger. But she was like, really, like,
Yeah.
everybody wants to help you. Everybody, are you okay? Are you lost? Where are you going to? Like, everybody's so kind. Yeah, like, it's amazing.
And that's the huge difference I personally noticed between life here in down south. I guess maybe because it's around the countryside and the water is touching people's head.
Wow.
But people down south here are just way nicer than.
Yeah.
I remember going to London and everybody, even if they are nice to you, it almost feels like it's obligation. Like
Yeah.
they are doing it out of obligation, not because they want to. But here, people are just genuinely interested. I mean, the comparison between here and just London, which is where I've mostly gone to, is just different. Even everybody in London is just facing their front. They are trying to hustle. But here, people are going to ask you.
Yeah.
You're walking on the road and somebody smiles at you. Hey, how are you
Yeah.
doing today? I was like,
Yeah.
bro, why are you smiling?
Yeah. And yeah, I like how life is slow paced. Like, at first, that was the horrible thing I hated about this place.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, oh my God, you guys need to be doing more life. But I like it. Like, I like how everybody's
After going
just...
to London severally, you're
Yeah,
like,
I'm just like, no, this is not it. Like, everybody's just easy. Like, everybody's just, we're just doing life. There's no stress. One day we'll get there. We're just, they're just simple. And I like that. Like, nobody is stressing themselves.
I remember one time, and I think we'll start wrapping up this video. But I remember one time our friend came to visit us here, and then we're going. I think we're going either up the escalator or down. And so in London, if you're going down the escalator in a train station or wherever, you're supposed to move to the right so that people who are in a rush will go to the left. So he tapped us and was like, guys, you guys are on the right side. You should move, so that people can pass. And then
You're on the left side, move.
No, we're on the left side, move so that people can pass. And then the lady behind, like, no rush. Just take your time.
Nobody's
He
in a
said,
rush. Nobody's
he was
in a
so
rush.
shocked. I was like,
Life is so
why,
slow paced,
why
so chilled.
chilled?
It's like everybody's high.
I love it here. Love it here.
It's so nice. And I think I like how safe it is too. Like, it reminds me of Cyprus back in the day.
Yeah.
2014.
I dropped
2015
Dorcas's phone. Her new, I had nice phone like this.
Both my phones.
Both her two phones. I dropped it and somebody found it, picked it and took it to the nearest restaurant so that I...
Like, he not drop it like in our house, or like maybe he dropped it in the house or drop it in front of the house. No, he dropped it on the road.
On the road, in the middle of the street.
He dropped it on the road.
I mean, it's not purposely. It
fell from his pocket.
off my pocket. It fell out my pocket.
Somebody picked it from the road and took it to the restaurant nearby and kept it there and said that, please, somebody lost
We
their
found
phone.
this, and then I was already
That's how
thinking.
safe it is.
We were
It's
already
ridiculous.
thinking, if this is anywhere else, like London.
We just say deuces to the phone. Also, yeah, they say even planning how we buy my new phone because we're just thinking, so maybe the good that we're thinking Cornwall is good. It's not like that. So many times we've slept with our doors open, like we'll forget and not lock the back doors, and we're safe.
Yeah.
Like, it's so safe here.
So we thank God for that.
Yeah.
Wow, so I love this conversation.
Wow, you're not even gonna ask me what I like about.
What do you like about? I'm not ending. I'm just saying I love this conversation. So what do you love about this? What's good about the Ukod?
The good roads, the transportation.
That's it.
That's what I like about it.
I'm happy for you.
I just think like talking to my nurses now, for nurses that are coming from Africa or coming from the Middle East, this is the easiest, like this is the soft landing nursing. Like this is the background nursing. Not to say like UK is like subpar or below expectation. What I'm saying is that it eases you into the system of nursing. So me coming from my very little experience in nursing, coming here, it was just what I needed. Number one, the slow pace of life here in Cornwall. And number two, everybody was just so patient to teach you. So
and very
when I was,
I mean, they're already helpful anyway.
yeah,
so
when I
willing
was
to
like,
teach.
confused about something, when I did not know something, everybody was just really patient and said, oh, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And then it's just easy to integrate yourself into the system here. It's quite similar to the system in a lot of countries, if I'm being honest. So, I don't know. I just really like that. And plus, it was just a building step for me with my career. So you can easily navigate your way through the NHS. Like you can grow your way up in the system. In the NHS, you can start from one place and before you know, get a promotion in some other place and then move to some other place and just keep gathering enough experience till if you want to stay back, you can stay back, or if you want to move, you can move. So I really like that for myself. Obviously, I like that we're married. I like that we get to start our lives here because I think it's a really good soft landing for us in our married life.
Starting plan.
Yeah, really, really good. I remember when Ozzy and I were talking about where we would like to live, even before there was ever a conversation about the UK, even before I ever expected that I will be moving here to the UK, we said we want to live in the countryside, we want to live in a place that was like slow paced and we could catch our breath because Ozzy and I are not really like the city life people, although Ozzy is very pumped about everything, but we still like just like country life. So it was funny that like God literally answered our prayer that we prayed like 2 years ago that we even forgot about. And yeah, we were literally living in our answered prayers. And I really like how slow paced like Cornwall is. Although sometimes it can get too slow paced, sometimes it can get too quiet, where you just want something to be happening so you feel like you're alive. Especially when you go on social media and you see like other parts of the UK, people are doing things, people are going on concerts, and people are like just living life, and you just want to also like be part of the, part of the, I don't know, the noise. Yeah. But yeah, I guess if anything, I would like to go to the noise as like visits and then come back home to the quiet.
I remember that's one thing I always say that I would want to go to a place where...
Yeah, like that's why whenever Ozzy and I travel, and we should talk about why, I think a good conversation we can talk about is like traveling, like...
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like Ozzy and I, we can talk about it later and that podcast. But anyway, that's one thing I like about us when we travel. Like whenever we travel to anywhere else in the UK, there's noise. Everywhere else we've ever gone to is always noisy, it's always busy, it's always loud. But I just like the fact that when we come back home, there's just that
once you're in the train like this and you're coming back like this,
it's like all those movies. Like they will not start like they'll start changing the colors of the place, and then you just get home to our countryside. Peaceful. And then we get home to our house and it's just like home, the quiet. There's like everybody's asleep. Literally, we live in an estate where there are like elderly people around us. So like literally at this time, everybody's asleep. It's quiet. There's no noise, and you can just rest. And I like that.
By 9 p.m., you can go and stay in the middle of the road.
No,
don't do that. I'm not advising, but I make this joke all the time because I remember that one time we were in London, and I think it was 11 or almost midnight, and there was literally a party, and the road there were still cars passing. And
I remember when I went to Leeds. I went to Leeds with some friends, and it was 10 p.m. We went for dinner, and everywhere was still like bubbling. The way we were like, what is going on? Because all of us are from Cornwall.
Cornwall is very different.
What is going on?
10 p.m. Everybody has
Why is everyone still awake? Because we're used to like by now everybody for now they sleep. Everybody should be in their bed, but everyone was like still like bubbly. That's when I told you that we should move to Leeds because I liked like how everyone was like lively. But now no, actually I like the fact that we can just visit those places
and come back
and then come back home.
Yeah,
so we're quiet.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is it. That is our transition from single to engaged to long distance to being married to living together to married life. So this is married life. A lot of you that have asked me, how is married life? This is married life. Thank
you for tuning in. Thank you for this time that we have to chill together. Thank you for watching this video. It really means a lot. We're still working towards our plan of having other people in. We're still trying to work ourselves, our dynamic of talking here, and then hopefully sooner than you think would, because we also have to get like new location and new equipment and stuff. So for now, thank you for chilling with us.
Please do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I am going to bed. Good night.
Good night.